I'm Asya Fateyeva. It's really nice to meet you and to invite you to our conversation together with Aiwen about mother talking, about musical life, parenting a little bit, some social media life, and practicing.
Hello everyone, I'm Aiwen. Thank you so much for your time to watch our conversation. Welcome to your Ad Libitum podcast. So nice to get this chance to talk to you.
Absolutely.
I can't believe this. During this festival, it's actually our first time we meet each other.
Yeah.
But I've seen you online everywhere, and I always admire your work, your playing.
Same. Yeah.
Actually, could you please tell me a little bit of your background? Now you're living in Germany, right? And when did you move there, and why did you choose to live in Germany?
Well, since 20 years, I live in Germany. It's a really long time. It's more than half of my life. And I feel home there, but it wasn't my choice. It was the choice of my family, of my parents and my sister. I followed them. That's why for the saxophone, it was not so easy to arrive to the city, to Hamburg, without any saxophone there. So I had to find the city, the teacher, the way to develop. And I came actually from the musical background where I was before, also with Margarita Shaposhnikova, of course, and Lilia Rusanova before. So it was like, wow, dessert, no saxophone, what to do? And then
that's why you're there.
Yeah, now, but happily I went actually to Cologne, to Daniel Gauthier, and then France. It was really very, very important inputs in my life. Yeah. What about you?
Me? Right now I live in Philadelphia in the US. Actually, I moved to United States when I was 17, and I studied many places as well. I did my study at Eastman School of Music for my undergrad and first master's program. And during my first master's program, I actually did one semester of Erasmus at Paris Conservatory. And I just fall in love with the city, with Monsieur Claude Long. And so I just wanted to stay there longer if possible. I tried the concours d'entrée and I happened to enter that year, 2018. So I did my second master's degree program at CNSM de Paris. And that's where I learned my French actually. So I really do enjoy studying, having the opportunity to study everywhere and travel to different countries to experience different culture and meet great saxophonists, musicians. And during COVID, actually 2020, my current husband, back then was boyfriend, Valentin, he moved back to the US with me. For him, it was the very first time. So it was like new adjustment and learning language and fresh and everything. But I was very fortunate to, both of us got admitted to the University of Michigan. So then we spent 2 years with Dr. Timothy McAllister there. After graduation from University of Michigan, we decided to move to Philadelphia because that's a great place for concerts and very close to New York and not as expensive, which is very important.
Nice. And back then, when you were 17, you moved alone to America or with your parents?
Yeah, I moved alone first, and then my family joined afterwards. So
now you live there
currently, not in Philadelphia, but near Rochester, where Eastman School of Music is.
And it's really practical. So now we're coming to the baby story, because now having a baby, are they helping? It's so important.
Yeah, I want to hear about your story because you have a 3-year-old. It must be hard because 3-year-old already can walk. I mean, right now my baby is still sort of moving a little bit, but
now it's the best time.
Not as mobile as your child. Yet he is extremely cute and adorable. I think Sophie really fell in love, just looking at him.
Same for your
They were playing during the breakfast. It was really cute. So how was your experience? Because you have such big career as a performer, as a professor. How do you balance your life, family life and career, professional life?
Parents. No, I mean, I'm really thankful, especially to my mother, because she's in the same city and I can be really sure that somebody can help me. And if in case,
That's
and
incredible.
we both, with my husband, we cannot manage it, Mama, So she's really helping a lot, and that's really a huge help. That's why I asked about your parents.
Yeah, well, my family, unfortunately, they have to drive 5 hours.
It's still better than China.
Oh yeah,
Right?
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I think we're definitely very fortunate that we have family members in the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. So like, whenever we needed some extra help when our life get too busy, we can always call mama and come. For example, right now she's taking care of our fur babies, 3 cats and 1 dog, and they're definitely a handful.
I also have a cat and dog. That's how we started.
Yeah.
Cat, dog.
Exactly same story.
Only 1 cat. So.
Yeah, we adopted 2 cats first in Ann Arbor, Michigan, during COVID because we were like, oh, school is kind of, like relaxed, a little, that's not as busy as a city versus Paris. So we kind of want like a little bit more, I don't know, warmth, kind of,
Sure.
in our family, especially. Back then there was COVID, so still half online. It's like they call it hybrid, so half in person, half online. So we didn't really get to spend a lot of time with classmates, and when things are virtual, it's a little bit different, So we were very fortunate that we had those 2 kittens back then, be with us when we were taking online courses. They were just like sitting on our lap, and it was the cutest thing ever. We're so fortunate to have them. And you actually give birth to your son during COVID, right?
It was just perfect because I had 3rd month of pregnancy when it started. So I was already a little bit like this. And then it was starting. So everybody was taking break with me during COVID. It was just perfect.
Wow.
And I was teaching online until here. So then suddenly becoming a mother, nobody could believe that actually it's a not adopted child. So I had to prove with some picture. But it was really just perfect. And also first year was so calm. And really, I can understand people who were suffering during COVID, but I cannot confirm it from my side. For me, it was just luckily and calm, and baby had me always.
Yeah,
I could enjoy the
God.
calm
How
breastfeeding
lucky.
time, not traveling. So actually, it was cool.
Yeah. Right now, how often do you travel?
Oh,
How often do you actually get to spend in Hamburg?
Yeah. I travel a lot, really a lot. I think. Yeah, every week, I would say 2 to 3 days there, sometimes a little longer, like 8 days not there. And then, so it's really hard to combine with baby. That's why I'm trying to take him wherever I can, but also respecting the routine. So also he has his occupies. So he has to be there. Yeah, the balance is a really good question. I have the feeling practicing time is almost not there. I don't know what about you, but it's luxury to have a time to practice.
Yeah.
So advice to everybody when you're a young student, free.
Yes, for sure.
Enjoy your practicing time.
Yeah, I'm sure you're the same. Like we just spent hours and hours of practice time when we were students, and we were so lucky to have this luxury to spend so much time isolated, like work on your skills and everything. But now we kind of have to rely on the things that we practiced before, or we have this 1 hour window that we have to prepare for a concert. It happens with me and Valentine all the time. Or like actually we have this like a play mat at home. Sometimes we'll just like place the baby there and tell her not to move too far. And
don't grab a
like
coffee.
Surround her with some toys, and then so we can practice. But still next to her,
Do you have some cabin, like isolated?
No. So we just practice in the living room.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be a little bit loud, but we try not to face the instrument to baby. So like kind of tilt it away from her. But we have friends or sometimes family members can help us too if we have to give concerts. Yeah. And there's also an app actually in the US. I don't know if the same for Europe. It's an app that you can kind of send a request. Say this time to this time, you have to, you're occupied by something, work or concert, and babysitter can apply for that job.
Oh, cool.
So normally if we travel, say like to LA, to different part of the US, we would kind of post something on that app, and then reviewing all the applications from the babysitters and see their criteria, what kind of license do they have, and select one to babysit for
No,
Sophie?
I'm not aware of that. Should be maybe, but yeah, it's very great
I
solution.
think it's so convenient, especially like for people who travel a lot
Yeah,
as musicians.
absolutely. So just then in this new city, you arrive and you have already babysitter. That's
But they like that application required them to kind of upload all of the IDs, certifications.
Cool.
So it's safe.
But also I feel this alone time is missing. You know, what about you? But like being alone as an artist, for me, it's somehow a bit needed. And this time I really still didn't find either you practice or you travel, you work or you're with family or you it's never like finding yourself or like being by yourself. What about you?
I don't mind that.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes with family, I can really find like a mind of peace in me.
Okay.
And especially after having a baby, I feel like I'm exploring the soft side of myself. I don't know.
I didn't meet you before.
I mean, I was more like, things have to go this way. Like, you know, especially with students, sometimes a little bit tougher. Well, from my education, I was born in China. So like things, same for Russia.
Russia's cool.
Yeah, more straightforward. Like if they didn't prepare well, then you tell them that that's not how you do things, you know.
I had bad experience in Germany with this. I was very straight, very direct. Before vacation, I said like, big input of energy. It will be fine for the 1 month without teacher. And it was the opposite result. Actually, this person, like German, was not used to this mentality and was like suffering and said like 1 month I couldn't find myself. It was like this direct way is not always the best, I think. And then I was really learning in Germany this another way, like European, more human, to respect maybe personality and to find the way to say things. So it was for me a long way to change this kind of Russian school.
I think compared to like European style of teaching versus American style, maybe American is even softer, even more like respectful to students, and especially really, you know, caring and understanding of their mental health and what they're going through. Because I think as professors, we're not only dealing with saxophone playing. Absolutely. Everyone from like teenager to young adults, like they all have their things to dealing with, you know, that they're just experiencing, you know, adult life, social life, and they still have to deal with family life. So I think we're all, especially after giving birth to Sophie, I start to like understand people better and try to see them as like my child as well. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same. I'd be like, I will be kinder.
Okay, I think the birth didn't change so much. I think I was kinder a bit before. No, but this teaching experience at the beginning changed a lot. This empathy and to understand people. So because I started to teach really early, with 23, I had the students already. So we were like, a student was completely my age. My first students were really even the same competition as the kids. And this was a long way to understand, and then you're so right, to understand students, it's not only about lesson, right, wrong, musicality, and we're done. It's very human occupation. And I think nowadays, after COVID, it might be really even harder for young people to find their way. Our world is so unstable. So I really suffer a lot also for young generation. And I don't know which suggestion we can give, maybe. Believing.
Exactly. I mean, myself also went through this phase, like during COVID, because we were still students, you know? So we were kind of looking in the future, like what's going to happen for classical music? What can we do? How can we use our own voice to like contribute a little bit of the already very colorful, fulfilled musical scene? So, and you know, oftentimes during our education, our professor give us this impression that like teaching is the only way to kind of support your living in the future. But I think with now very developed technology, maybe we can explore something differently. Maybe we can see it from different angle. Everyone's so unique, and we all have something specialties that we are good at, and we don't have to be perfect, and we don't have to show the perfect self in front of camera or to our students, to the world. We can totally be ourselves and still find our own voice in this very good, has a blossoming music, classical music scene. What do you think?
What do you mean by technology? How can it help?
Like for example, social media.
Okay.
Yeah, I think social media is a great tool that we could possibly use if you use it wisely. Spread positive image.
I think it's a very hard subject also with students.
Yeah.
Are you trying to talk with them and to motivate them to use it? Because I have some cases they're not using even WhatsApp, because they're afraid of being, I don't know, observed, whatever. So I have until now actually the opposite, the hardcore, let's say, students not using WhatsApp, not even on Facebook, like really these kind of students. So what would you do? Would you suggest them to join the team or would you change them? Or?
Maybe we can, first of all, as professors or as influencer, we can set a good example of how we can use social media to find connections, to find opportunities for concerts, and not like a tool as showing off, I won this competition, I did this better than you. I feel like this is an old mentality already for social media, because that's why it's kind of like opposed to use social media, because it's a place where filled with some negative this image of perfection that nobody can ever reach, I think as somebody who might be able to influence the younger generation, maybe we could tell them it's okay, you can decide, you can choose to share or not share, but by sharing your playing or different side of yourself, you might attract more opportunities to yourself, because everyone's so unique, and if somebody find that your playing is very interesting or you're just a very good person to work with, they will be willing to, when they're searching for musicians or when they're searching for collaborators, you might be chosen.
But it's really kind of already part of the work. It takes so much time, so much energy to pay attention, to take care of it. How do you deal with that? It's really
that's right. That's why Valentin and I, my husband and I, we work together actually. So for my social media page, for my Instagram,
I'm sorry, I didn't follow yet. I will.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm pretty bad on all these things.
I actually don't post much because social media takes so much time. So oftentimes I'm kind of backscene, behind the scene, and working with Valentin as a team. We both brainstorm some ideas we might be able to film, or something might be good or interesting for the audience to see, some promo video for the upcoming concerts or something.
Right.
And so we're not only using one brain to think about this strategy, we're
3 2.5
yeah, 2.5 with the baby. But honestly, baby give us so much inspiration too. Yeah, I feel like right now we're just in a good rhythm of thinking of, what's next, what's gonna happen next, and it's so exciting to try different things, because not every time things would work. Sometimes we spend a whole day filming something and then it didn't get enough views as how our expectation was. But it's totally fine, because I feel like the algorithm of social media change all the time. You never know what's gonna happen. Maybe during our conversation, it's already changing. Something else will be a hit. So this, just by exploring, I think, even though it takes our time, but this is something fun for us to do. It's you never know what's gonna happen, but let's hope that our idea this time might work out. If it doesn't, it's fine. At least it's something that we're proud of. We're happy to share. That's something that we're passionate about. And I think this way show to student, as a family of 3, or you can say a family of 7, because we also have the fur babies. Yeah, with the animals. It's okay. It's manageable to still have a career, still have a professional life, still find time to teach and perform and travel.
But I must admit, I think it got a bit harder for people, also for young generation, because you're kind of forced to do it, and I'm not sure that everybody likes it. Everybody's natural to do it, so it's always a conversation with yourself, like forcing yourself. Should I should not, but I have to, and then not really. I think it can be really huge suffer. I know many examples who really cannot find the positivity, a positive way to do it, and so I think nowadays we have to kind of. There's no other choice, or just
I think there are definitely other choice.
So you're not posting, not having any channel, not posting anything.
It's fine. It's fine. I think it's totally personal choice. I think some people. It depends on the personality, of course. Some people are perfectly happy with just teaching, not making an international career, as one may say. But I think it's really hard to define success. Success is something like totally different to different people.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And I think as a girl, sometimes some people just tell me, well, you should never work. You should just stay at home and take care of your family. That's success for you. People might say that, and I might disagree, So I think social media is a tool which is available for us, but we don't have to take advantage. But there might be different opportunity pop up because we take the advantage of that tool.
And TikTok, are you there?
TikTok is crazy.
You're there?
I mean, we tried, but we still can't figure out.
No,
I think that's something like less manageable, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. Somebody might do great. I think Mikhail Kazakov actually is having a pretty successful TikTok account. Yeah. But Valentin and I, we're still trying to figure out how to do this. I think people there is even crazier.
Do you have some people helping you, or
no, just
advising you? Or?
It's just both of us. We try and error, and I think we are keeping very positive mindset on this social media thing.
It will not be forbidden in America, because there are always rumors that they're gonna close it or not.
I actually don't know. I've never experienced that. So many younger kids, they're using TikTok.
Yeah, I see my nephew, and I'm really ashamed of this stuff. It's hard to find the positive side of it.
Yeah, but I mean, if it makes some people happy, I'm sure, if that's their source of happiness, then good for them.
But from the other side, as the mothers, we should think about this next generation, our kids, and we are, at least trying to reduce the screen time.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be so happy if my child would be there on TikTok all the time, and so. Yeah. And at the same time, we are producing stuff for it and feeding it, kind of.
Our targeted audience is probably not those little babies, probably
Baby Shark.
Oh my god, this song. We played it once.
No.
Yes, Valentin and I, we played Baby Shark once. Shh, it's a secret. It's a little bit embarrassing.
The private concert.
The kids, yeah. We went into schools and we played a Baby Shark.
It's fine.
And some other beautiful classical music arrangements. Baby Shark is just like the encore. So don't worry. We're not playing it.
On the loop.
Yeah, with the backing track, actually. We found the backing track on YouTube, and then we were just like with the dancing.
That's cool.
Yeah, but we avoid letting Sophie to listen to songs like Baby Shark. We want to kind of enrich her musical experience as much as possible. So
Shostakovich.
The tense. Yes, Mahler symphony. Well, anything.
And don't clap in between the moments.
Right. She's really good at it, actually. I don't know what's your experience with Leo, but Sophie wait until other people clap, and then she'll be like, it's my time. Like this.
Yeah.
How often do you take Leo to classical concerts?
Not too often, I must say. I don't really insist. And we're not trying to make a musician out of him, hopefully not, being honest. So when he shows interest, we show him, but he doesn't show such a huge interest as well. It's not a huge passion, I think, for him. Until now, it's more scientific way. Everything should be right and straight, and I do this way. So. But at the same time, he's musical, so let's see maybe how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from because for Sophie, we are keeping the same mindset that she can be anybody. She can do any profession that she wants. I think we just want to introduce her to the beautiful things in the world. But in the end, it's really her choice to become a musician, artist, I don't know, doctor or lawyer. A lot of Asian parents these are the only profession you want to select. But yeah, I'm very fortunate that I have a family who has more open mind and want kind of support me to pursue my musical dream. Thanks to them.
But from mother's side, I think I was not aware of all the difficulties of our profession because traveling so much just for some rehearsal, people can work in the office, they work, then they're home every day. For us, like concerts, so you're traveling for 4 days with orchestra, 3 days rehearsal, and then 4 day concert or whatever. So you're occupied only 3 hours per day, then you're free, but you cannot be home. You cannot go home because it's far away. So it's like always talking or like online or not seeing your child. It's really, it hurts so much. And it's a bit, stupid and bad side from this profession, I would say. It's not only glamour concert.
I might disagree with you.
Yeah, okay.
I draw inspiration and energy from the things that you just mentioned.
Yeah?
Yeah. Actually, I did work in the office for several months. I worked in the a agency, manager company, just for a little bit to get...
For musicians or...
For musicians.
Cool.
To get to know the industry a little bit. And I would say, when you're forced to be in one place almost every day and seeing the same face, you kind of get bored.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like I would like a working space where I can kind of use my creativity and just do anything I want and to test the limit and to see what's gonna happen, what's gonna spark. But oftentimes, like an office job, you're being told what to do. Okay. And it's a little bit devastating for me. So I quit after a while. And that's how the social media, I'm kind of helping Valentin to develop his social media account. And because that's a place I find that I'm able to use my imagination and my creativity. And that's my source of, output. But if I get stuck in one place and not get to travel, not to get to meet new people, not get to talk with interesting people like you, I would probably hate my life so much, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, I understand your point, sure.
So I'm really happy that as musicians, we get to travel, we get to even bring our baby to experience different culture. And we just did almost 1 month in Italy, the tour, and now we're here in Andorra. And seeing those young kids play also inspired me because the level just gets so high. I'm a little bit jealous of how many opportunities that nowadays generation musicians, they get to, they get to play those amazing pieces, this competition with full of great people and positive energies. I love it. I would want to.
It was different in your time?
I mean, it's a little bit different, not like competition with broadcast and everything, with the lightings and...
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's also pressure, I think, really.
Yeah, pressure. But pressure helps the level to get higher and higher. Yeah. So I think some pressure, I think for me, at least, I like to work under pressure. If I have no pressure,
I need stress.
I would just become a couch potato. So I actually do enjoy having a little bit of pressure.
What is your sign? Is this a star? When was you born?
Aquarius?
Okay.
Like January 22nd is my birthday.
It's like limit of old one and new one? No changing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't follow this actually. But I think I definitely have the personality to work in this kind of I get motivated a lot from this energy.
What I mean, that really, but you cannot keep in the same city. It's great to do all these things, but then you don't see your baby for a few days. And now it's great you're taking it with you, but imagine she will go to school. She will have to be there every day. I don't know about America, but in Germany you cannot just move out of school. You really depend. You have to go every day. Then you cannot just leave.
In the US, it's possible to not go to school. We have homeschool too.
Okay. In Germany, it's
Homeschool
much
system.
more strict.
Yeah. Well, I haven't tried because I was never experienced homeschool. I had my education kind of everywhere, but I feel like I didn't do early childhood education in United States, so like I didn't know fully, but I still have time to learn more. So both Valentin and I, we are not opposed to homeschool system, and I've seen a lot of successful cases of children become very, very smart, and like they know how to use their time wisely, even without being in the school. I think this is something that all of us, we kind of learned at one point, like, okay, we have this time.
Procrastination is a subject.
Yeah, like how can we spend our time most efficiently? And I think that's something from giving lessons, teaching other kids, I see more and more often, like if somebody don't have this skill of how to manage their time, they might have some trouble. And so I cannot stress it enough that I think time management is very important.
How did you learn it? Did you? Or?
I learned it from like do everything from last minute, and then I hate myself for doing that. So I started to like, especially after having baby, we have to kind of plan ahead, you know. And this is how we learn. We learn from the hard way. So you
plan like every day or big goals? Or what would
it depends on the season. Like right now we're kind of busy, so we have a shared calendar, Google Calendar. So Valentin and I, we always put our meetings, everything on the schedule, and kind of blocking out what times we can actually work preparation for concerts or preparation.
You put in the calendar. Practicing time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do that.
That's cool. That's cool.
And also block time for baby to play, because there's some places indoor playground in the US. I think it's extremely fun for Sophie because she can see how kids interact with each other, and they have like young baby, like from 0 to 6 month section, and like 6 to 9 month section, like different sections. So yeah, we also take Sophie.
So you put it in calendar, like I practice and it's blocked.
Yeah.
First. First come, first serve.
Well, we have oftentimes like we can practice together if Sophie's playing next to us.
How?
Just put baby there
and then play in the same time,
and then practice at the same time, because we often give concerts together. We have a duo.
Okay, this is
yeah. Sorry, it might be confusing. But if he wants to practice for himself, he can say like Valentin practice or something. And we also have a subscription to like there's a creative space. They have different rooms for like recording studio, like painting studio, and live room, editing studio. Which is only 10 minutes away from home. And we have the annual subscription.
Perfect.
So if we want to be isolated, like playing some crazy things, we can go to those rooms. But
just
otherwise, we just practice in our apartment. It's pretty good. We have amazing neighbors. We live in the city center of the Philadelphia. So it's a high-rise building with pretty good isolation, I would say. Yeah, and next to us is a corporate office. So we don't have to worry about like annoying any neighbor practicing during the night.
And playing together, because in my family case, we're trying to do not too much.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, yes, our couple is like different, though we could. He's a pianist. It works usually easily for you. What about like mixing professional life?
No.
And family life? You're not getting tired of each other 24/7?
No, we're not.
Wow.
We're not tired of each other.
What is the secret?
I don't know. There's no secret.
Yeah, arguing, how do you decide like even musical way of interpretation? Like who agrees and who is like...
It just came so natural.
Yeah,
that we don't have any arguments.
That's cool.
Yeah, same for working together for like the social media. We don't really argue actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of
perfect match.
Yeah. How do we do that? I don't know.
Great.
I don't have any advice because it just happened.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I don't mind working with him at all. He's such an amazing person to work with. He listened to my advice and we listen to each other. We communicate with no problem.
Cool. In Russian. comes?
I'm learning Russian. He's learning Chinese. So
Really? Is it
yeah.
possible to learn Chinese? For me, it's like...
We both took one semester of each other's language at the university.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I actually know how to write cursive Russian and everything. But really, my speaking progressed after his mom, my mother-in-law, was in United States for 3 months. So I got to hear Russian every day and help my speaking and listening.
And his Chinese, how is for me like to learn Chinese something like
Well, my mom is in the US, so and my mom always speaks
yeah.
Chinese to a baby, to me. So
It's Mandarin Chinese or
Mandarin.
Yeah. Okay. It's intonation's important, no? Is it
Very important.
And the alphabet is the one alphabet?
I mean, it's character.
Yeah.
Valentin actually learned to write character at school.
Wow.
He probably forgot.
Okay.
I mean, even me, like I have to type first and then copy. Shh. It's been a while that I actually write with pen. So I think that's something that if I ever find time, I really want to revisit, my own culture, because I think Chinese culture is like I respect Chinese culture so much, and there's so many literature, so many history, and that I want to get to know better. I lost the opportunity to learn when I was young because I didn't realize how important it is, especially when you're overseas, like away from your mother country. And when people ask you about your own country, I was like, sorry, I wasn't a good student back then for
so
history.
you're really thinking in English, or what is your like?
Yeah, I think in English.
Yeah, so Chinese is more fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I want to think more in Chinese. So I definitely would like to return to my mother country more and perform and share what I've learned and with everyone, hopefully.
Yeah, I think there are many people interested. No? The big audience is waiting.
Yeah, definitely. So I need to prepare my Chinese. Especially public speaking. It's different animal. It's so hard. Yeah.
For me, English is my worst language, so sorry.
No way.
It is for sure.
You are so great. Like, your speaking is so fluent, and
I was never living in a country, like English-speaking country. That's why it's
I can never guess
the school level of.
I can never guess that. Your English is impeccable. Thank you so much, Asya, for finding time meeting with me. And you're such an amazing person, such an inspiration, role model for me. As a mother, as a performer, as a female musician. I think it's really your example. You are setting such an example for
our kids will be best friends.
Yeah, they're already best friends. Hope to see you soon everywhere, and hope to welcome you to the US more often.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.